Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a special segment of the Alan Austin Show. We are holding our first ever fantasy football court. Alexander Alcheh and Anthony Cavallo will be defending themselves in the matter of a little deception when playing each other on Fantasy Football Sunday. Let me welcome the plaintiff, Alexander Alcheh.
Hello. Thank you, Your Honor. It's a privilege to be here.
And the defendant, Anthony Cavallo.
Happy to be here, Your Honor. Excited to clear my name.
All right, gentlemen, welcome to Fantasy Football Court. We're here for a very serious matter people's reputations are on the line. Decency is on the line. Fantasy football etiquette is what's at stake here, and if there is any. Now, the story goes as such. Alex, please state your case.
Well, Your Honor, it's very simple. There was a gentleman in this scenario who took the time to host football for a group of friends during a pandemic, to do it safely outdoors, to have 2 televisions outdoors. I'm not sure many countries have that going on, but in this little bubble of Burbank, California, in my backyard, 2 TVs outdoors, and I also offer breakfast as the consummate host. So while I'm flipping bacon in the morning, it was a Sunday morning about 2.5 weeks ago, I would say, and Anthony Richard Cavallo comes over, as he does often, at 9:45 a.m. It was 9:45 a.m.
I just want to interject and say that you both are on the West Coast, so the NFL 1 o'clock games begin at 10 a.m.
Yes, for those of you who don't know that, it's the best part of living in LA by a landslide. It's phenomenal. But that has no bearing in this case. The point is, Tony comes over at 9:45. I'm flipping bacon. I make one of the world's best breakfast burritos. Ask anybody except Tony. One of the world's best breakfast burritos. They will tell you it is phenomenal. The key is to finish it on the griddle. At my new house, we have a griddle. It gets it nice and toasted, perfectly fresh and warm. The eggs are over medium. The bacon is crisp. It is perfect. I add in different vegetables each week just to spice things up. So while I'm flipping bacon, while I'm sauteing vegetables for 3 different gents, this guy comes in all excited saying, "Did you hear the news?" "Yeah, Aaron Jones is starting." Meanwhile, I have Jamal Williams on my bench. This is the week. Also, mind you, I'm playing him this
week. Just want to throw in one caveat. Tony is the commissioner of the league.
That is a massive caveat, I'll have you note. So, Jamal Williams is in my lineup at the start of this day. My other option is Devin Singletary. For anyone who has watched football this year knows he has been a fantasy football nightmare. So, Jamal Williams is in the lineup. I'm ready to go. I'm flipping bacon, saute some onions, prepping the burrito shells, getting the mayo and hot sauce, a little bit of cheese going, the avocado ready to go on 3 different burritos, making it all nice and beautiful, heating up the griddle. Everything's ready to roll, but I'm moving back and forth. I'm brewing coffee. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I'm not thinking about what's happening in the world because I'm being a good host. He comes in all excited. "Aaron Jones is starting." I'm like, "No, he's not." I'm pretty sure Adam Schefter tweeted that he's 100% out because I check my Twitter at 9 a.m. before I start cooking for my friends. And then he doubles down saying, "No, there's a new COVID rule. There's a new COVID rule stating that you don't have to say if they're eligible or not prior to the game. They can just start. Thinking that no decent human being would say a COVID rule during the time of a pandemic when people are sick and ill and it's just a horrendous time to be alive. But lo and behold, as I bring him the burrito, as he's chomping away on that first bite, the crunch you could hear from half a mile away. That's how perfect it was. Jamal Williams is starting. Aaron Jones is not starting. I finally get a chance to check my phone. And here we are, noticing Aaron Jones is out, but the games have already begun. And lo and behold, I lost 15 points because Jamal Williams didn't start.
And who in this league has Aaron Jones?
Oh, thank you for asking so much. Thank you, Your Honor. That would be Anthony Richard Dick Cavallo. Thank you.
Your rebuttal, Tony.
Well, I will not wax poetic as the prosecution has. I will be much more simple and state the fact that every single thing the prosecution has said thus far is undeniably correct. This was, and by all accounts, a premeditated assassination of my good friend Alexander Joshua Alcheh. We were meeting in a fantasy matchup. I was going to his house, and this was on the car ride over a planned attack by the big brain right here, because what man would not take his friend's advice over the millions of blue check marks out there on Twitter saying, do not play Aaron Jones? And yet the person you are competing against shows up on your doorstep with a big smile and tells you a lie. That is correct. I've done all of that. But my friend, the good judge, Alan Pines, where is it written down? Where is it written down that I cannot take every advantage laid out in front of me to win a fantasy football matchup? Where is it written down that I am not allowed to pull a ruse, a fast one on the old boy? And yes, he was making me a breakfast burrito. And yes, he was having me at his home. Now, he did not mention the vegetable of the week was broccoli in a breakfast burrito at 10 a.m. I don't know who wants broccoli in a breakfast burrito. That belabors the point. The point is, I was well within my rights to do everything in my power to defeat the man across the table from me. And if anything, the fact that we are still talking about this weeks down the line further proves the point that one of us is sore about being fooled, having the wool pull over his eyes, and the other one is sitting in first place in the conference, in the division, and is the fantasy football genius. And that is the defendant. The case rests.
Gentlemen, now the defendant did say he would not wax poetic and then continued to poetically wax for minutes on end, followed by the fact that he has a beef with broccoli. So, Alex, can you defend the broccoli decision in the breakfast burrito before we go any further?
The only defense I have is that he ate the entire thing.
That is not true. I secretly threw it out because I did not want him to see me throw it out because I felt bad about him being so angry about Jamal Williams.
I don't believe
But
you.
I had about 2 bites of that burrito, Your Honor.
I object. That's not real. I saw the whole thing. He ate the entire thing, as did the other 2 people who ate it.
The other 2 people definitely ate it.
Did the other 2 people have any beef with the broccoli?
No beef with the broccoli. The broccoli adds a crunch. And the broccoli, let me tell you something. Broccoli and egg yolk together is a beautiful combination. As is broccoli. Ever have broccoli bacon cheddar soup?
No.
Well, that's because you're Alan Austin.
Yes, not Alan Pines, whoever that is. The defendant misspoke. It's going to hurt him in the end, for sure.
Yeah. The point is,
this is a kangaroo court through and through. I never stood a chance.
I'll give you a kangaroo court. Here's the thing.
Although, hold on, gentlemen, order. Although everyone is hopping mad, this is not a kangaroo court. Now, Alex, what are you suing for in this matter? What would you like the outcome of this hearing to lead to?
I think the very least should be some kind of a meal. At the very most, $2,000.
Okay, well, we will probably settle somewhere in between. Now, Tony, you openly admitted to this plot against your friend, against your fantasy football comrade. Do you feel that as commissioner, you broke any ethical rules?
Absolutely not. I did nothing to sway the game in my favor that was outside of the rule book. Again, if he had the simple simple knowledge to look at any source out there on the internet, it would have gone against what I was telling him. It is not my fault that he was so easily fooled. It was simply a tactic that won. And I am in front of the court here, the judge, the jury, the executioner. I am being completely and utterly honest. This was a plan, but it was not a plan that is illegal.
Alex, why would you trust your opponent on something so serious as the starting lineup of your fantasy football team the week you're playing him? Why would you trust him? What has led up to this moment where you're willing and open to trusting Tony?
That's a great question, Your Honor. I've been friends with Tony for 11 years, 23 days, and 7 hours and 3 minutes up to this point. That's when the friendship ended. But I, over that time, have seen the man grow, have seen the man become a man, change from a boy who would do antics like this to become a man of integrity, of honesty, of friendship, of loyalty. It turns out I was wrong, that a 31-year-old man would do this to a friend who was making him breakfast, because no decent human being would do this to a man cooking him food. That's why I thought blindly, he's my friend. He doesn't need to lie to win a fantasy football contest. Who does that? Not Tony. Turns out Tony does that.
Tony?
I have one objection to the judge, Mr. Alan Austin. If you could please, you've known me, the defendant, for quite some time as well. Is this a tactic that surprised you out of me, a person you've played many board games with, many card games with? Is this a tactic that was out of character for me?
Normally, judges don't comment on these sort of matters, but since I'm here hosting, why not? I wouldn't trust Tony to tell me that Christmas was on December 25th. Okay? I wouldn't trust Tony if he told me Easter's mascot was a bunny rabbit. I wouldn't trust Tony if he told me that New Year's Day was January 1st. Whiskygate is a famous board game incident within our group of friends where Tony was losing Monopoly for the championship. So he knocked his whiskey glass all over the board, essentially wiping out the boardwalk. And we just could not continue the game. So no, I would not trust Tony. And Alex, the fact that you would over 1 million blue check marks is a sign to your level of friendship. The fact that you're willing to trust a friend over verified Twitter accounts with inside knowledge of the subject matter, that shows how good a friend you are.
Thank you. I agree wholeheartedly.
Now,
so sorry. My last 2 points, and then I will rest. You are absolutely right. That does show how stupid Alex Alcheh truly is to trust me over the fantasy check marks.
Objection.
But my final point is this. We may be good friends off the field, but there are no friends in fantasy football.
And there are no friends in real life for Tony Cavallo.
gentlemen, order. That was overruled. That was an unnecessary comment, Alex.
You're right. I'm sorry.
Now, my verdict will rely heavily on everything that's been said, but I do want to find out one little key part of evidence, and that is if Jamal Williams was in your lineup rather than Devin Singletary, would you have won the week?
I plead the fifth.
Tony, can you answer this?
I do believe I still would have come out victorious, as I will this weekend when our teams match up yet again.
All right, gentlemen, I think it's pretty clear. My verdict is such. From here on out, Alex, for the next 4 football Sundays that Tony comes over, he will not be fed by you. You are not to give him any food when he comes over. That is my verdict, because ultimately it would not have mattered, but there was a severe breach of friendship in this incident, so that is my ruling. And Alex, from here on out, I strongly recommend you trust the experts over known, scallywags that come over your house.
That's great advice, Alan. Thank you so much. I do think that the 2000 would have been a little more effective, but sure, he will not be fed.
Had you have won the week, we're looking at $2,000 going into your pocket.
Okay.
So,
Fair
gentlemen,
enough.
are we good with the decision here made at Fantasy Football Court?
I respect the court's decision to make sure that I do not eat broccoli at 10 a.m. anymore. Thank you for that.
Tony, may I ask what your favorite vegetable in a burrito would be?
Pepper and onion.
So, Alex, for the next 4 Sundays when you make breakfast burritos, please make sure to have peppers and onions in there, piping hot and super fresh.
Aye, aye.
All right, gentlemen, this has been Fantasy Football Court, and court is adjourned.